What's up, guys? Jake from OneHive, back with our 5th installment of the base breakdown series. As always, Rex, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Jake. I'm doing well.
Good deal.
To be back at the hive.
Yeah, Rex is back from his little extended vacation, rested, relaxed, and ready to go. We're looking at one that I would say, like a lot of the other bases that we've broke down, this is one that you're gonna see almost every war, if not every war. What do you think, Rex?
Yeah, Jake. People love to have this type of layout because it's so difficult to attack. If you don't know what you're doing, of course.
Yeah.
We love seeing this base because we use so many different army compositions and strategies to tackle this. It always brings a smile to, I know, some of our players.
Yeah, we were talking about it before we started recording, and we're like, okay, what all could 3-star this base? And the answer came back almost everything. The only thing that I would say I probably wouldn't use on this is a straight hog raid, but this could even be holoed. This could be go wiped, go wee-weed, drag looned, as we're going to see today. I mean, it's just, if you know what you're doing, you can wreck this base a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We have people like Zang who just love to go with this base.
Yeah.
I personally like to either drag loon the space or holo it, like you were saying.
Yep.
And today, since we haven't had the chance to talk about drag loon, we're going to go ahead and talk about that strategy.
Yeah, we've obviously done the how-to video on that, but to see, and we've shown even in the war recap videos that Scarecrow, Wombat, some of our guys will use Dragloon effectively, but wanted to bring you guys a sort of a base breakdown and talk about on a Town Hall 9 level. Granted, this is not a max Town Hall 9 level, but it pretty much works the same. I mean, it's going to be a little more difficult, obviously, but the strategy works the same on it.
Yeah, so it'll depend on the AD positions more than the amount of development of each of the defenses, as you were saying. When you look at Dragloon as a strategy, there's only 3 different types of bases or layouts that you can attack as a Town Hall and expect a 3-star. And to just quickly go over those, the first type is when all 4 ADs are cored. In this base, only 2 of the air defenses are cored, but sometimes you'll see bases where all 4 AD are cored, kind of looking like that. They'll have like the expos on the sides here.
Yep.
Without the borders. That one's a very easy drag loon. It's also an easy hollow wee because the very little amount of coverage that the ADs provide.
Yep.
The second type is what we're looking at here, where you have 2 exposed ADs. That's simple. And 2 cored ADs. Mm-hmm. So these are also very easy to drag load.
Yep.
And the third one is a little bit less common because I know everyone has a little bit of OCD when it comes to their base layouts. So the third base is like when you have 3 cored ADs, if you had something like this, with 1 exposed AD.
Yeah, I agree. I think you see that the least common. But like you said, if they have all 4 air defense in a core, a lot of times people will think, oh, you can't drag in that base, but it's actually the exact opposite. If that happens, go to the how-to drag loon at Town Hall 8 and follow those exact same steps. If you can get your balloons to the core, you're going to wreck it because they're going to run wild on those air defense. And once that happens, the dragons are basically going to clean everything up.
Yeah, and that's what we see from a lot of our best drag looners time and time again.
Yep, I agree.
What type of bases are more difficult, would you say, to drag loon, Jake?
Well, and we're gonna bring one up and show it here, but to me, when you've got spread out air defense and you've got high HP buildings near those air defenses, the reason being, if you're trying to take out the air defense with your dragons, they're going to get stuck on those high HP buildings while the air defense are hitting them. But if you are going to try to get your balloons to take them out, then you've got the problem of how are you going to get your balloons to all 4 sides of the base. It's difficult to do. So let's look at one like that. All right, like this one here that we're looking at, you see that the air defense, it doesn't matter really which side you come from. your dragons are going to hit these. They're going to hit these storages that are high HP, and then if you say, okay, I'm going to get my balloons to take them out, well, how are your balloons? It doesn't matter really which side you come from. Again, they might get to two of them, but the other ones, they're not going to travel straight to them. They're going to be distracted by other defenses, other buildings.
Yeah, you're totally right, Jake, and I agree with you. This one is very difficult to travel in because, like you were saying, it's not impossible, but it's going to take quite a bit of balloon investment to balloon these ADs because there's no good path for them. There's no way they can go straight into and destroy the air defenses.
Yeah.
And the only other possible route you have is to use your dragons, but as you were saying, these high HP storages are just going to cut them off.
Yeah, they're going to stop there. The clan castle has huge HP. The Expo's huge HP. The town hall huge HP. They're going to take forever getting from one side of the base to the other, and while that's happening, they're going to get taken down. All right. Well, back to the base that we're breaking down today. We were talking a little bit before we started that Rex and I would probably have done this actually a little differently than Scarecrow does. Obviously, Scarecrow Rex it gets the 3-star, but how would you go about drag hunting this base, Rex?
Yeah, so when I look at bases that have 2 exposed ADs, I almost always do the same thing. And what that is I use the heroes to destroy one, or if I can destroy both with 2 heroes, then I'll go ahead and do that. But most of the time, you can only destroy one AD with your heroes. And as part of using your heroes to destroy an AD, I start off the first side of my funnel.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and circle these ADs again.
Yeah.
So in this case, because of the position of the Archer Queen, I would almost go ahead and use my heroes, both my Barbarian King and my Archer Queen, to destroy this entire section, along with this AD. It would also eliminate the Queen. That way there's no chance of the Archer Queen distracting or pulling my dragons away. And then for this side, I would most likely use hogs.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you drop your Barbarian King there, and he's going to tank that cannon and the Archer Tower are really the only things that's going to be. Well, maybe even the Expo once he gets in there, but there's not going to be many defenses hitting him, so he's going to easily take out those with the Archer Queen backing him up, and that Queen's going to jump that wall to attack him. And when they do, you drop your rage, and that entire section, the air defense, is taken out. And again, like you said, now you've started your funnel, or you've got half of it done, and a couple of defenses and air defenses out of the way, and the Archer Queen.
Yeah, exactly, Jake. So let's go ahead and start. Let's start breaking it down step by step. You already did the first part, where if you dropped your Barbarian King here and your Archer Queen, you don't want to drop your Archer Queen too early, right? And if you do, you want to drop her way in the back, so she's not taking fire from this cannon right here.
Right.
I think that's the only threat to her. These Archer towers are a little bit far away, so the Queen's not even going to... You just need to make sure this Queen destroys this AD.
Right, yep.
Yeah, so this Archer Queen will step over the wall. The Barbarian King is going to be attacking her. Your Queen is going to kill her off. And hopefully, you want to make sure that's dead. The only time... the only situation where you could have a little bit of trouble using these heroes is when the clan castle starts to being lured. So if your Barbarian King accidentally goes too far in, triggers the lure, and then your Queen does not destroy the AD, then you're in a little bit of trouble, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a point there, because you'll see here on the ring of the clan castle, if he gets inside of that, I don't think killing the wizard tower is going to do it. But if you use your rage ability and those barbarians come out, I think you could definitely trigger it. But if you're careful, I'm pretty sure that with both of their abilities, you're going to get that Queen to that. If you drop her in the right spot on the right side there, you're going to get her to that air defense and get it taken out.
Yeah. Another possibility here, and this one is slightly less used, is the same thing. I would use the Barbarian King, and then I would actually use hogs to destroy that AD. That leaves your Queen to be alive. then you could use a few more hogs and your queen to destroy this AD.
Yeah, you absolutely could. I think the only danger there is possible traps, but you can send a test hog in, and that would work, I think.
Using Barbarian King and Queen, this entire section is destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Then what I would do is I would start off my other funnel with a dragon and maybe two loons over here. What'll happen is that dragon, because there's only this one archer tower and this AD, I would make sure the rest of my dragons are deployed over here, so this AD has very minimal impact.
Yep.
These dragons are just going to rip through this side of the base because there's only this one high HP building, and then this is when they're going to kind of get held up because those are the next tier of high HP buildings.
Yep, I agree. Because there's two archer towers,
yeah.
They're going to go down pretty quickly. The queen's already down, so that once you get your funnel set, they're going to get to that core, or I say the core, the storages relatively quickly.
Yeah, I agree. So what's going to happen is your dragons are going to all head towards this middle here,
mm-hmm.
in all directions. If you deploy kind of like a move side here. Right behind those dragons, you're going to deploy your loons. When you want to deploy these loons, I like to spread my loons out kind of like this, just all over.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's going to happen is they're all going to start targeting different defenses. And then once those are down, it ensures those loons are going straight to the core.
Yep, I agree. Because you've already made your funnel, so once those defenses, even if your dragons don't have those down. Now, personally, if it was me doing it, Rex, I think I would wait till my dragons had at least that wizard tower down. I wouldn't want my loons straying that far to one side. But then it doesn't matter if they go to either of the archer towers if they're still standing, because we've already created our funnel. The next closest defense on the bottom is that cannon at 6 o'clock. The next closest defense on the top will be that air defense at 1 o'clock. So they're going to the core after those defensive buildings go down.
Yeah, you're totally right here. You want to make sure your loon timing is precise. If your loons are deployed too early, they're going to be destroyed by their air defenses. And if they're deployed too late, then the air defenses are going to just wreak havoc on your dragons because your dragons will really need that backup.
Yep, I agree. The loons are what make a drag loon. The dragons are there, I don't want to say just for a meat shield because they do a lot of work, but really they are there to distract so your balloons can get in and take out the key defenses, in my opinion.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with you. You want to make sure these loons hit this, and they're going to rip through this core very easily because when they drop the bombs on this, the first thing they're going to drop bombs on is this mortar. And as they're doing it, both of these defenses are going to take splash damage. So just two loons dropping two bombs, these three defenses are almost all taken out.
Yeah, it's going to be fast.
They're going to move straight into this next one, and when they drop bombs on this one's going to take splash as well.
Yeah, it's going to be fast, and some of the balloons die, they're also going to cause damage. Especially, we didn't talk about spell placement, but you have to have a rage for that core and for those balloons. Those balloons in that core raged, it's going to happen fast.
Yeah, so a couple of things that we skipped is the spells, yeah, and the other thing that we skipped is the clan castle. Once your dragons are deployed in this shape, once they get close enough, the clan castle is going to pull up and pull your dragons in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of spells would you want to do when you're facing the clan castle?
Real quick before we go to that, I know we're kind of bouncing around, but just a pro tip here. If you have access, if you're a Town Hall 9, which is what we're assuming you're attacking a Town Hall 9, you wouldn't have a Town Hall 10 attacking this. You're a Town Hall 9 and you have access to max dragons in your clan, and you can make level 6 balloons, stick that max dragon in the clan castle, bring the loons yourself. Just a little tip there. But if the spells I would bring on an attack like this, I would bring 3 rage and 1 heal. The reason being, once my the defensive clan troops engage my dragons. I want those dragons raged, and I want them healed. You'd be surprised how many, especially if you got some wizards in there, how fast they can damage them. A heal can counteract that and possibly keep a few dragons alive. Then I would have, again, the rest of the rages for my balloons to get in that core and get it taken care of.
Yeah, that's a great tip, first of all, Drake. If you have a dragon, like as Jake was saying, if you have a max level dragon, go ahead and bring that in your clan castle. It's also better because if you release your clan castle with 6 loons, they're going to all be targeting the same defense.
Right.
Whereas if you had 6 different loons, you can deploy them in 6 different spots.
Yep.
And you could even have them attack different defenses.
Yeah, less chance of triggering less chance of air bombs hitting all of them. There's a lot of benefits to spreading your loons out like that.
Yeah. So back to the heal space placement. The first circle that I drew over here on the left, you're going to want to drop a heal and a rage. The second one is your second rage. Then you have your fourth spell. You have the option of bringing another heal or a rage. I know a lot of people in our clan like to bring 3 rages and a heal. Mm-hmm. I personally like to bring 2 rages and 2 heals.
Yeah.
But that just goes to each raider has their own set of skills and the way they like to attack bases.
Well, sure, and that's a good point because let's say we haven't got to this yet, but there's one air defense that we haven't addressed yet. Let's say you are going to bring hogs for that. Maybe you want to bring 5 hogs or 4 or 5 hogs and a heal over there to ensure that that last air defense gets taken out. There's no way really you can get your hogs possibly going straight to that air defense, so they're going to have to kill a defensive building first. Maybe a heal is the perfect fourth spell right there.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. That's kind of why I like to take fourth heal or second heal. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, second heal. It's just so I have that option.
Yeah.
You also have that option to use it for your heroes, but that's probably not the best use of the spell. However, it just really depends on what's happening in the raid,
right,
and how you react to it.
Yeah, I agree. But that's what I would bring there is probably 3 and 1, but 2 and 2 works well if you're using the hog over there or whatever. It's like you said, you've got to know what works for you, what your strategy is, it's a little bit of trial and error, but either one of them are viable options.
Yeah, I agree. And the other plus side of attacking from this left side that we have is once your dragons rip through this core, and then we just addressed, if you take out this last air defense, mm-hmm. the only 2 remaining defenses that can destroy your raid is this archer tower and this archer tower. This wizard tower is not going to do much to your dragons.
Yeah.
These 2 cannons can't even touch it. Right? So those are the only 2 things left. And if you just have enough troops left over, which if you place your spells right, then you will.
Yeah.
So it's just easy. It's an easy 3-star for you.
Yeah, I agree. I think this way we've broke it down is a very good way to do it. Now, obviously, we're going to show the replay here of Scarecrow. So let's talk quickly about what Scarecrow did because he went about it a different way, and obviously it did work. So there's more than one ways to skin this cat. Let's talk about what he did, Rex.
Yeah. So the other option, and this is what Scarecrow likes to do, which is fun, and it works perfectly well, as long as you know exactly what pathing your dragons and your moons are going to take, is to use your heroes not to take out an AD, but to start off your funnels. Mm-hmm. Right? So I don't remember which hero he uses, but he uses one hero to clear this section and another hero to clear this section.
I believe it was Queen up top and King down low, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I believe that's you're correct, because a queen is going to have a hard time just killing this king off. Mm-hmm. So I believe it was the king that clears this section and the queen that clears this section. One reason why he's able to do that is because there are no high HP buildings. If there was a gold storage somewhere in these 2 sections, you wouldn't have this option.
Yeah.
So once you destroy these 2 areas, if you release everything over here, it's just going to go straight into the core, right?
Yep.
sorry, I'm like my art skills are kind of lacking today. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the same rules play. Is the goal is not so much getting your dragons in the core. The goal is your balloons. So taking out those defensive buildings on the corners is really what's crucial. That then once you release your balloons, they've got nowhere to go but right to the core.
Yeah, you're totally right. To make sure, like the only thing that destroys a dragoon composition are the 4 ADs and the Archer Queen.
Yep.
And the only thing that can be ruined, that has the potential to ruin its raid, is a high-level Archer Queen that pulls your dragons away when they're in the core.
Yep.
So, Scarecrow obviously calculated for this, and he reacts just the way you're supposed to. And his spell placement is precise, so he knows exactly how to tackle this. But when an Archer Queen is in an area that can pull dragons away as they're trying to destroy the core air defenses, if your balloons don't survive, that's going to ruin your raid as well.
Yep. Your loons then are even more important because once she engages a dragon, the ones in that area are going to refocus on her. They're going to leave whatever they're doing, fly right past those air defense, and lock onto her. And if his loons aren't coming to that core and killing those air defenses, the dragons are going to be toast.
Yeah. So as he was doing this, the last thing that he does is to drop loons for this 4th air defense, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The last thing we haven't talked about here, and the last key to this raid to getting the 3-star, is that lonely old air defense sitting over there. And he holds some balloons in the bag to take that out. He holds them back and doesn't drop them till part way through the raid.
Yeah, so when would be the most optimal time to release those loons?
I see this a lot, and in my opinion, and I do it on my low-level account because I'm a Town Hall 7 and I use dragons all the time. In my opinion, if you're using balloons to take out the last air defense, I like to hold them until that air defense locks onto a dragon. The reason being, you never know where a Tesla might pop up, make them stray, kill something else first, and that air defense pecking away at them. It doesn't take an air defense very long to knock out 4 or 5 balloons. So in my opinion, wait till that air defense locks onto a dragon, it's firing at a dragon, they can take many more hits, then drop your balloon. Sometimes it's hard to hold them in the bag that long, but in my experience, you're going to have better success doing it that way.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. That's very good practice to have. As Jake was saying, if you're going to wait, or if you're going to use loons to attack this last air defense, wait till your dragons are over here, and this air defense is attacking those dragons. Because once you release these loons, they're going to go straight to there. This air defense has no chance when all 4 loons come in here and just destroy that.
Yeah, it's going to be one drop of bombs because there's so many of them. They're all going to drop one bomb. It's dead in one attack, basically.
Yeah. And the other option for this attacking this was using hogs.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use hogs here, it's kind of the opposite. You want to make sure the hogs destroy this air defense before a dragon locks on, or this air defense locks onto a dragon, because you don't want your dragons to take any additional damage.
Absolutely. If you're bringing hogs for that last air defense, the only thing you're waiting on is the clan castle troops to be dead. If you drop your hogs too early and there's clan castle troops running around that the dragons haven't killed yet, they're going to make a beeline for your hogs and can kill them pretty quickly unless you've got, plenty of hogs, but you're not going to be bringing many. So make sure the clan castle troops are dead before you deploy those hogs. Then you're all clear to do it.
Yeah. One of the things that's a little bit more risky on this side with hogs is something you mentioned, is if there's any spring trap, usually the spring traps are in between these defenses.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry so much. But if the spring trap is not, and this guy just happens to know how his base gets attacked and throws a spring trap there, that's going to be not so good.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but it is something you have to consider and worry about. I think the balloons are a better option here just because you can send them straight in on there, barring a Tesla being somewhere popping up. But you can send them straight in. So in my opinion, the balloons are the way to go. I think Scarecrow just dropped them a few seconds too early, but that's just, obviously it worked. So
is the expos, and this is something that a lot of people are scared of. If the expos are pointed up, it doesn't mean that this base cannot be drag loaded. Expos do very little damage to dragons. Over the course of times, if the dragons are not taking out the expos, yes, they're going to ruin your raid. But most of the times, expos have a very little effect on dragon.
Yeah, I would agree with the proper funnel. Yes, it adds, I guess, a level of difficulty to the raid, but with a proper funnel, pointed up X-Rows does not equal not being able to drag Luna base. Yeah, I agree.
All right, that's all from me. We'll go ahead and watch the replay.
Yeah, let's watch this replay. Let's watch how Scarecrow does it, and then we'll wrap up here, Rex. Like we talked about, he drops his king down low. We were correct on that. King's down low, queen's up top. The purpose of these, he follows them up with a dragon too. The purpose of this is just to create his funnel. That's it. He's making sure that when he deploys the bulk of his dragons, and more importantly, his balloons, they're heading to the core. So he uses this Barbarian King ability to take out his Barb King, the defensive Barb King, and here comes the dragons. Drops them all in that middle thing, and see, he's already deployed his balloons. He can do that because there's no chance of them really straying because he's created his funnel. They're going to go over and hit this archer tower, but from there, they're going to the core. He drops a rage. That's perfect for his dragons, for the clan castle troops. Then drops a rage on his balloons, a heal. They've already taken out one of the core defenses. One of the core expos are down. They're just working their way around. That center air defense is targeting the balloons, but he's brought plenty, so it doesn't matter. Right there, you'll see he drops the balloons on the back half. You see it works there. If he had waited till these dragons had made it through, or even those balloons that he dropped initially would have drawn fire, but it worked this way. At this point, it's over. He's got about 4, 5, 6 dragons left, and there's only 2 archer towers and 2 Teslas left, so it's cleanup time from here. You see how fast that happens. When you funnel it properly, it starts slow, but then, man, it picks up quickly, and they work their way through the base very fast. We'll fast forward here at the end, and it's over. So just wreck that base. Just an awesome job by Scarecrow.
Yeah, that was awesome. Big shout out to Scarecrow because he always dragons regardless of what base he's claimed, and he just loves that strategy.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about in videos, and people have different strengths, and this is his strength, and he claims bases that are sometimes tough to drag loon, and he does it war in and war out, and so he's very good at it. That's something that you just, you try it enough times, you practice enough times, you're going to get good at it, and Scarecrow definitely is. He's been featured on several videos doing this same type thing. Well, guys, that was our fifth base breakdown video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Rex, anything to say to the viewers before we go?
No, the only thing, thanks for having me again, and hopefully we can start off and start bringing out some harder, more difficult bases and look into Town Hall 10s. And if there's any requests in lower Town Halls, then we can go ahead and accommodate for that, but I haven't seen any coming.
Yeah, well, we are going to keep working through these and different bases. We are going to work our way up to some Town Hall 10s and talk about strategies for those. But we want to try to bring what we feel like people are going to see the most of first. But that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, Jake and Rex trying to help you guys suck less.